Hi, this is Mike and Lucas with Mystic Maple Syrup. We're going to be explaining some of the tools we use out in the sugar bush today, as well as the tools we use here at our processing center to make pure maple syrup. First of all, we're going to start down here with our mainline tools. So Lucas?
This is a big version of our two-handed tool for the 5/16 line to put on different fittings on our main line.
This will do 1 inch and also 3/4 of an inch. This is for when you're out and you're setting up your sugar bush. You want to attach your mainline fittings using this tool. Next we have a drill. So if you've ever used saddles before, this is what you use. You put this drill on your mainline, clamp it, it's like a vice grip. You turn the drill a hole in your mainline, and then the saddle clamps on top of that.
Onto our 5/16 line, we have a two-handed tool, and this is made to connect two pieces of line together or to fix leaks like we were the other day. So if we have a leak, we'll cut it out, and then we'll put a T in here, or a connector like this, right into the line, and connect them back together.
I'll show you a quick example of how that works. So we're going to put this in here. Lucas is going to clamp it down for us. There you go. And then he's going to use the built-in cutter. That'll cut the line for you, okay? And then for the other end, we'll just cut it with our regular cutters. Just like that. So now we got a gap in there. Then you're going to put your, this is a butt connector. So you're going to put that in line. There we go, and just like that, you just fixed a leak. Okay? Now for another example, when you're out in the sugar bush and you're adding new drops onto your lateral lines, so that's what we use this for. So this is called a line viper. It's a single hand tool. Your line goes in through here, and then you can clamp it on like so. So I'll show you an example. So, for example, this is our drop line. This is going to be our T. So we'll get it started on there real quick, like that. Then I'll take our line viper, put it in the tool, give it a good squeeze. There we go, there's your drop line. T, that end has a tap. I'll put a tap on here too, just for example. Tap goes in. Into the line viper. There we go. Now we have our drap with our T, and there's our tap. So then what we would do is clamp it back in our tool like that. Use the cutter just like that. Take your T, put it in there, and press it on. So there you go. One tap, one drop, one T, and one lateral line right there. You're all set up to make syrup. A couple of the other things we like to use out in the woods. A good sharp razor blade. That's vital. As well as our cutters. We also have, these are called NTs. So you have line here, and this is plugged. What happens is, as your line goes around a tree, the part that goes around this tree is the most likely for a squirrel to eat. So we don't want that squirrel to be chewing on our line that has vacuum on. That's why this has a plug in it. So, show you an example real quick. Got a piece of line. This end goes on there. Okay? And on the other end, we put a hook. So the hook would go on this end, and you hook it back to your lateral line. That way if a squirrel eats it, you don't use all your vacuum.
Now on to when we are tapping, we have pouches that we hook onto the sides of our pants. Right here we have a drill with a special bit on it made just for tapping. If you use a different bit, just a normal 5/16 bit from a normal store, it's not going to be the correct size, and the tap could have leaks and other things happening. So we use this special bit made for taps, and you go you take the drill and you don't want to stop as you go in, and you keep it on the whole time, and you go right to the end of right here, and we slid a piece of line onto it to know that we are about an inch into the tree, and that's how far we want to be.
Lou's going to give you an example with this piece of wood. Straight in, straight out, keep it running. And it's best to tap when your trees are running, because if the tree's running, it's going to push out some of the little wood shavings and stuff are in there so they don't clog your taps. Last things we want to talk about here, we have another holster here we use. These are all made by Tough Built. They're fantastic. They have these little clips on them. So that part goes onto your belt. And it clips in the back just like that. And it's better than any tool belt you ever use, I guarantee that. So this one was a hammer belt that I modified slightly so it'll hold our two-hand tool just like that. Okay. Another thing we want to talk about is our buddy over at Sap Spy. So he's been vital to us, absolutely huge. And Sap Spy, Lucas will post a screenshot so you can see what it looks like. But Sap Spy is a remote monitoring system for your sugar bush. So what it is you go on, you look, it'll show you your vacuum, tank level. You can control remotely with the relays. Whatever you need it to do, Sap Spy's got you covered. So this is a diaphragm out of our guzzler pump. So what happened is we saw that we did not have good vacuum on our Sap Spy. So we knew that we needed to go out to the sugar bush and find out what was going on. So we looked at I'll come up there and show you this. So we looked at our diaphragm. It's hard to see, but there's a real small pinhole in the diaphragm. You can see it a little better on that side. And that's what was causing our vacuum to go down. So we went out, we fixed our vacuum, and now we're good to go again. Hi, we're going to move down to our processing center now. This is our barn here. We're going to talk about some of the equipment we use to process our maple syrup. So this is our reverse osmosis machine. This will process about 135 gallons an hour. It's got 3 4x40 membranes. We have a low pressure pump down there, and up here is going to be our high pressure pump. So coming out of this line right here into a barrel, that's going to be our concentrate. That's our concentrated sap. Before we boil, we like to see about 7%. So then if you come the other way, these are our permeate lines. This is purified water going into our tanks here. We can hold about 550 gallons between these two tanks. This is what we use to clean everything. Whether it's our evaporator, our filters, our filter press, we clean everything with purified water. Okay, we're going to talk about some of the equipment we use to bottle our syrup now. You can see here, this is a 2x4, we call it a finishing pan. We just have it on a couple of propane burners. So we put our syrup in here, we heat it up to about 190 degrees, and we're going to add diatomaceous earth. That's our filtering agent. That's what we use to actually filter with. And then it travels up this line into our press. So this is a liter, 7.5 inch, 5-frame filter press. So it's air powered. So you hook an air line up to here, and it flows through here, down through this other line, into the frames themselves. So each one of these frames fills up with syrup. And they all have these filter papers in between. And it comes out crystal clear. After it goes through here, it then goes down through another line into our bottler from Smoky Lake. This will hold about 10 gallons. Syrup comes off the filter press, goes into our bottler. And you can see here we have a gauge. We try to keep it up to about 190. And then it comes out here where we fill our bottles. We have it set on a tool chest. So we sit our bottles on the chest. Each drawer is for a different size bottle. And then you open these valves and you fill your bottles that way. And then after that, they move down the line where we get them labeled. And by the end, you have some Mystic maple syrup, bottled, ready to go.